God's creation started with the Word. That was His first creation. Now, Christians will call that Jesus Christ. He was the Word of God. But it's not just one person. Okay, this is actually a group of people that we know of in the flesh. And we know them as the prophets, Jesus in the flesh, and us saints. We're the group of people that the Word was spoken through. Now, why did we speak them? Because we are the Word. And that's who God created in the beginning. And why did He create the Word? Well, because He is just thoughts. God is invisible thoughts. And these thoughts are what He's always been. For He's infinite. So He's always been there. But before creation, He needed to express these thoughts. And this Word takes His thoughts and generates them into light. So that's what His first creation was. Was a transmitter of His thoughts. So the creation, His creation, can experience them in each created being. And so that's who we are. We were created in His image as invisible thoughts. And the Word speaks to each one of us. And how is that done? Well, we are made of atoms. What you see, the part you see. Each atom hears or obeys this Word, and so we are formed out of these atoms, the part you can see. Now each atom connects the physical world that we see to the invisible God. And that little tiny space is where we hear the Word. Each atom is made of light. So that's where we hear God speak to us. Remember, God is everywhere. So He's right there in every atom. And His Word is giving the light in us so that our physical bodies will pick those thoughts up and transfer them to our brains so that we can, our brains are like a processor. It's like a computer processor. But we need the thoughts in order to express words, through speaking them or physically expressing ourselves, hearing, seeing, all these things. So this is how God communicates through us. We don't have nothing. We're nothing without God. We are a created image, invisible image, and we have these atoms form around us, within us, around us, whatever. Okay? So the part you see is not necessarily His creation. That's hard to explain and hard to understand. But eventually we die in the flesh. But our image, our spirit, the person that we really are, goes on. We live forever. We were created for eternity, not just to, be born and die. The part you see is deception, and that's going to go away. In the next age, it'll be different. We're going to be immortal. We're going to live forever, eternal. So that'll be more realistic. Okay. Because now we can get disfigured. We can get in an accident. We get disfigured, and we won't look the same as we did before. Well, in paradise, that'll never happen. We're going to always look the same. We're not going to grow old. We're not going to deteriorate. We're not going to die, and all those things. So what you're looking at in this age is just everything's deception, and it was planned that way. God wanted it that way, only to find His people that the Word would speak through. Those who were created in the Word. Now the rest of the people are what we call sinners. Now we were all started out as sinners. Okay, I'm not saying that I wasn't a sinner, or the prophets, or Jesus. We were all created without any sin in His image, but in the flesh we were inflicted with sins. Now that started with His first people, Adam and Eve. Now that's the names that man has given it in the biblical names. Now it doesn't matter if it was Adam and Eve or not. Okay, names aren't important to God. What's important is His creation and His Word. So Adam and Eve were the first people in the flesh. Now why did He have to form Eve from Adam? Well, because they were already known as sinners. All sinners were created as men, both male and female. So when Adam and Eve were made, they were formed in two different bodies. Adam was created, formed first as the male, and then Eve was formed from his flesh. Now they're two bodies. One male, one female. Their flesh was created or made with these sins in them. They started out with this potential sinning. God told them not to eat. Well, first of all, the symbolic garden He gave them was who they were. That was their heart, mind, and soul. God told them that in the garden was a tree of good and evil. Well, those are the thoughts of deception caused by the sins. They're the potential thoughts of from our sin. The other thoughts were from the tree of life. The tree of life was the thoughts that were clear of sin. There was no deception in them. So God's commandment to them was to not eat of the tree of good and evil, which they decided to eat anyway. And that's where all sin started. I'll stop with this video and catch you on the next.